Welcome to Simple Coding. In this video, I am going to teach panel control in Asp.NET. Panel control works as a container for other controls like label, text box, calendar, checkbox, radio button, etc. You can see in video that box will be treated as panel and balls will be treated as controls. Panel control controls the visibility of the controls. That means, suppose if we are creating 4 button controls inside panel and if we set the panel control visibility as false, then it will by default apply to our label controls and these label controls will not be visible. Now we can create panel control by writing code or use drag and drop facility of Microsoft Visual Studio IDE. Panel is a server-side control, that means it provides its own tag to create. So to create panel control, we have to write ASP:panel and we have to provide mandatory properties like ID and runit, and we can also provide properties which we want. Following are useful properties for panel control. Let us create panel control example. In this example, I will create one web form containing two panel control, one panel control for sign up and another panel control for login. So here I am creating the project with name panel control demo and adding one web form to our project. Let us create the UI for our web form. Inside form tag, we have to create sign up panel. For that, write down ASP:panel and provide properties like ID. In ID, I am assigning P1 and provide run at server and also provide height and width for our panel control. Here I am providing height as 300 pixels and width as 350 pixels and also providing here back color for my panel. So use back color property and here I am assigning value as yellow green as a color to my panel control. Also providing inline CSS to panel control and providing property like margin left. It will set margin area to the left side of panel control. Also providing property like text align and value as center. It will make the controls set to the center. Inside panel control, I am creating h1 heading tag to display sign up. Here I am creating one label control to display create username. For that, write down ASP:label and give property like ID. In ID, I am giving L1 and providing run at server and also providing text property, and inside this text property I am providing value as create username. This text property will be shown on top of label control. To enter username, create text box. So write down ASP:text box and providing ID like create user and also providing run at server and close it. Here I am creating break tag. This break tag will display the next elements in new line. We have to create one more label control to display create password. For that, write down ASP:label and providing property like L2 and also providing run at server and provide text property as create password. Also to enter password, create text box by writing ASP:text box and provide ID like create password and also provide run at server to our text box. Also use break tag to make the next controls in new line. Now, as shown in sign up panel, next control is button control. So write down ASP:button and provide property like ID, and inside ID I am providing BT1 as the value and also provide run at server, and we have to provide text property to button control and I am providing value as create. This create will be shown on top of button control, and also providing on click property. Providing value as create, that means we have to create function with same name inside the .cs file. Similarly, we have to create one more button, that is next. So write down ASP:button and providing property like ID, and inside ID I am providing BT2 and also providing run at server, and also give text property to this button control, and inside this text property I am providing next and also adding on click property, and inside on click property I am giving value as next. That means I have to create next function in .cs file, and also providing visible property to my button control, and inside this visible I am providing false. That means this button will not be shown. Let's check the design. So here you can see that we got the design as we wanted. Here after next button control, close the panel control by writing /ASP:panel. Similarly, sign up panel, we have to create one more panel, that is login panel. So write down ASP:panel and provide properties like ID. Here I am providing P2 and also providing properties like run at server, and we have to provide width. Here I am setting 500 pixels as width, and also providing height as 300 pixels, and also providing back color as wheat, and also provide inline CSS. Adding margin left, it will set the margin area of panel control to the left side, and also providing text align property, it will display the controls in center. Also adding visible property to this panel control as false. That means this panel won't be shown on top of web form. Inside panel control as displayed in the design, we have to create h1 heading tag to display login. So create label control to display username. So write down ASP:label and provide property like ID and run at server, and inside this text property provide username. That means this text property will be shown on top of your label control. To enter username, create text box by writing ASP:text box and provide property like ID. Inside this ID I am providing enter user, and also providing run at server property, and closing this text box, and also providing break tag to display next controls in new line. Again, as shown in design, we have to create one more label to display password. So write down ASP:label and provide property like ID, run at, and also provide text property. Inside this text property we have to provide password. Now to enter password, we have to create text box. So write down ASP:text box and providing properties like ID. Inside this ID I am providing enter password, and also providing run at server property, and also using break tag to display next controls in new line. After that we have to create one button control to login. So write down ASP:button and provide properties like ID, run at, and text property, and inside this text property I am providing login, and also provide on click property, and the value which we pass for this on click property we have to create function in .cs file. Also create one label control to display the result. So write down ASP:label and provide properties like ID, and here I am providing ID as result, and also provide run at server, then close it. We also need to create label control inside sign up panel to display the result. So write down ASP:label and provide properties like ID and run at server, and close the label control. You can see that we got the design as we wanted. We have successfully created sign up panel and also created login panel. Now we have to provide actual processing. Double click on this create button. You can see that we got the function with name create. That means we have provided on click property as create in our design. Inside this create function, I am setting the visibility of button 2 as true because we made it false in the design. It will make the next button visible when we click on create button. Now inside this result label, I am showing the username which we have entered in text box 1 and the password which we have entered in text box 2. I am displaying inside this result label. So for that, write down id of result label is res. So res.text equals to, here I am printing statement, that is your username is, and providing, and we will get the username from text box 1. So write down the id of text box 1, that is create user dot text, and use plus operator to concatenate two statements, right? So write down plus and also providing statements like your password is, and the password we get from text box 2. So write down text box 2 id, that is create password dot text. Now we have to provide processing for next button. So inside this next function, write down p1 dot visible equals to false. That means we have to make first panel as false and we have to make second panel visible as true. So write down p2 dot visible equals to true. It means when we click on next button, the first panel won't be shown and the second panel will be shown. Now we have to provide processing for login button. So write down inside login function. Here we have to check the username and password which we have created in sign up panel is matching with the username and password which we are entering inside login panel. For that we have to write inside if condition enter user.text double equals to create user.text and enter password dot text double equals to create password dot text. The condition satisfies, then we have to show the result in result label. So write down result dot text equals to login successful. And if the condition is not satisfied, then we have to provide else block, and inside block we have to show the result in label control. So write down result.text equals to enter correct details or enter correct username password. So now let's run this project. You can see that we got the output, only first panel control is displaying and another panel is not visible just because we made the second panel as false. Here inside sign up form I am providing username and password as SimpleCoding, and when I am clicking on create button you can see that we got the output as your username is simple and your password is coding. And when I am clicking on next button, the login panel is displaying and sign up panel is not displaying. Now for login we have to enter username as simple and password as coding which we have created in sign up panel, and then click on login button. You can see that we got the output as login successful. In this way we can work with Asp.NET Panel Control. If you like this video, then please do like, comment, share and subscribe. And if you want Hindi tutorials of this Asp.NET programming, then do let me know by commenting. Thanks for watching.